Hey guys, what's up? Today I would like to finally open Terror Claws Skeletor because I bought this quite a long time ago, even did a video with it for Dumbface Skeletor, and then never opened it like so many of the other things that are sitting here and up across the top here. And it's just time that we got to some of this stuff, right? And that's today. So I'd like to start with the basic here, and of course look at this card art. It is pretty solid. That's pretty cool. It's very retro feeling. And of course the back here, this, you know, I'm going to cut that off and I'm going to keep it. It's real cool. It has a nice retro feel to it, but I don't think it's as good as some of the Masterverse artwork. But there's no denying that it is fantastic, and I'm gonna keep it. In terms of the cross-sell back here, all the stuff, let's see. I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. I don't have those two, and I don't think I care. I don't necessarily care about Buzz Off when it comes to the Origins collection, and I don't like Naked Stratos because, well, he's naked. And for some reason, I don't like that one, the comic book variant, as much as I like the other. Now, I'll say this. If I get in there to the figure and he actually has damaged hands like that, like where it's like the veins and whatnot, that would be really cool. I doubt they went into that much detail, but let's open him up and check him out. Okay, he's open. And right off the bat, I come across a small problem when I got him out. He looks fine. That's not the problem. But a while back, good while back now, I did a video called Action Effects versus Action Features. This guy has action features. There's a little tab here on this back, and you turn him, and he jigs. Jigging, jigging, jigging. Which, I mean, I guess that's fine because he's wearing his shiny sports bra and everything. But, like, I don't know. That one worries me a little bit. It honestly does. Because I'm noticing right off the bat, I can't move his arm, you see, without him moving his torso. There's a mechanism inside which causes him to jig, which is fine for the most part, but it's going to affect what so I got this guy, and I thought to myself, it'd be cool to go down to the diorama and do some shots with him tonight, since I'm going to be unboxing him. And now, I don't know what shots, because most of my shots are going to be severely limited now. So he comes with his Terror Claws, and he comes with this thing, okay? So we're going to put this thing on him. As far as I can tell, you just push it on there. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it goes like this. I don't know. No, it almost has to go like this. But I don't know what that's for. I really don't. I don't know what that's for. Now, he can hold it, which then I have an idea of what it's for. Because when he's holding it, it's got this like thing here, and then he... okay, I get it. I get it. For what it's worth, I get it. He flails it. Pretty cool. It reminds me of the Birdman thing from Beetlejuice. Remember when he pulled his face out? That's what that looks like to me. Maybe I'll get in closer here after a minute. He does come with a Havoc staff, not one that I'll need. I have plenty of them. He comes with an extra hand, and he comes with an extra face, one that I've been wanting to see for a while out of the package. So when you put that down there, and I'll strap these on him, and let's look him over then, shall we? Let's look him over. So here he is in all of his Terror Claws glory, and basically, you move him back and forth, and he flails his arms. I'm one-handed right now, so let's do this here. Of course. This is part of the reason why I'm not a fan of action features. This guy is pretty cool. But if you're like me and you don't like action features, this severely limits his options. Severely limits his options. He doesn't move well. He won't pose well. And once you're done with the action gimmick, once you flailed him about for a while and had him do a jig, yeah, ooh papa dappa dap jig, ooh papa doopa dap jiggy Skeletor. Like, there, we've done what we're gonna do with him. Now comes the other part of the adult collecting. Pose him. Pose him, stand him, put his weapons on him. Even after his weapons and stuff are on him, he won't move well without popping one of his claws off, as you saw. And if I set him up with this, I can't move it to be dynamic necessarily. And so that's a real problem with action features. It's part of the reason why I'm more than fine with the fact that they've done mostly action effects in this line, because he is severely limited at this point. Now, a saving grace, he comes with multiple heads. And some people would argue that those heads are better than the other heads were. This guy's got his grumpy face, and that's fine. And then he's got this one, which a lot of people really like that head sculpt, and that's fine. There's no reason not to like it. It's a solid head sculpt. I like Dumb Face Skeletor, but I also like the other one that was put out later. And one of my all-time favorite Skeletors right now is that. I think that is fantastic. That is so cool. I would argue, though, now that I'm looking at it, that face might be better than that one over there. Not by much, but enough that I feel like it makes a legit difference in terms of the photography stuff. Like, if I'm going to take it downstairs, I'm going to pose it, and I'm going to use it. He just basically became almost unusable in the photography idea, though. Because if I want him, like, watch me try to move his arm up. I'm just going to pull his arm up, and it's going to turn his body. I can't make it stay. And if I force it, I'm probably going to break it. And that's not my intention, is to break the guy when I just got him. That's the biggest problem with action features. Here's the truth. Action features were really cool when we were growing up because we didn't care about the posability necessarily. We would take this guy and we would run up on the guys and we'd punch a guy. Bow! Bow! You use the Terror Claws or whatever, right? You'd flail the claws around. You'd put this one on. Let me click it in here. Make sure it's on there. That's clicked in. Bam! That's clicked in. Bam! And then you got to move his legs back, otherwise he'll hit his legs. And then he flails his Terror Claws, and he keeps hitting himself in the leg because of the way that the Terror Claws are designed. And you can't turn them. I'm having troubles here. See him hitting himself, giving himself Charlie horses while he's trying to do his Terror Claws dance. Now, once we're done, let me move his arms out here. Something like that, maybe. It's fine, but do you see where I'm going to have posability issues now? This is the best I'm going to do, is to get him on the shelf like this with his claws out, and that's going to be it. And it makes me feel like if they incorporated the action feature on this guy instead of an action effect, that makes me feel like the He-Man is going to be, the Spinning Fists He-Man guy is going to be the same way. And I've got him too. And it makes me wonder if he's going to have the same issue. This guy may have just become shelved. He's still kind of cool, but I don't think I'm going to do much photography with him. I will use his head. Especially this one. I really like this scowling, angry, evil face. I may very well use that. So I'm going to add that to my accessory cage. because that's a really good head, and I will swap it out from time to time and use it for different effects because I actually think it's really cool, and I think it'll really help in some of the action figure photography stuff when I'm doing that kind of thing. Now, I've been mentioning that a couple of times, and if you missed my earlier video, I did a video recently where I talked about a new diorama that I picked up. And I never picked up one of these before, but I've been real serious about kind of getting into the action figure to expand this hobby, to have something beyond just playing with them. And like, so I pick them up, I mess around with them, I pose them a couple times, I put them on the shelf, they're done. They're done, we never touch them again. Well, I got to thinking, I want more than that. And it hit me, action figure photography is something that I've been interested in for a very long time. So I bought a very cool diorama of a dungeon, like a medieval dungeon setting, a castle. And then I went downstairs, set it all up, did an entire video on it, took a couple of shots, and I posted them on my Instagram. And I think I'm going to make this a normal thing, that if you're interested, every time I do one of these videos, I will also post a couple of pictures of whatever character I just went over, whatever thing I just looked at, on Instagram, on my Instagram account and whatnot. Same as here, Fandom with ReploidBill, you'll find me. But yeah, he comes with an extra punchy hand thing, which is pretty good, because it will actually replace this hand here, which is something that he's kind of desperately needed, because everybody always has this open hand, and he will be able to replace that hand. But regardless, that's what I've got this time around with him. I don't have much else to say other than this guy really emphasizes exactly why I prefer action effects over action features. He's still cool. There he is laying right there. And I wish that this was a little bit different, because it would be cool if I could get it, like I could do that, I guess, but that's goofy looking. I don't know. I wish I could get this on him as well with the Terror Claws and he could hold everything. It'd be cool if that was thick enough to actually hold the Havoc staff on there as well. It is not. It just fell over. But either way, I'm not disappointed. Don't misunderstand me. He's going to go on the shelf and he's going to do exactly what so many other figures in my life have done. Look cool on the shelf. People will say, why has he got big giant hands? And I'll say, well, that's his Terror Claws. And then they'll say, what? And then we'll talk about it and make jokes or whatever. Otherwise, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say about this one. I'm going to go take a couple shots of him, see if I can't get some kind of cool poses out of him. And I'm going to get out of here, guys. Later on.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.